Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. So with Christmas just around the corner, everyone's kind of baking and getting all of their goodies made. I thought we would go ahead and make a pie. Now this is how I make pies. I'm going to show you how I make my crust, and then we'll also make the filling. We're going to do pumpkin, I think, just kind of a festive kind of pie for this time of year. And then I also have something else in mind that I would like to try. We'll see if it works out. Yeah, so stay tuned and we'll make it together. Now first we're going to start off with 5 cups of the pie and pastry flour. I get this from a local bulk food store. And then next we're going to measure out our shortening, and we're going to need 12 ounces. And then we're adding in half a tablespoon of salt into our flour. And then we'll mix this up, mix the flour in with the salt before we add in our shortening. Alright, so to get this mixed in properly, I'm going to mix it up with my hands, because it seems like you can feel better if it's mixed in properly, if you can actually feel it with your hands rather than using like a fork or something. That works as well, but this is just kind of what works for me. And so I'm just incorporating the shortening in with the flour. So you know when it's mixed in really well, everything is mixed, when there's no more big chunks of the shortening, everything is nice and just flaky and mixed in really well. Hopefully you can see that. Alright, so next we're going to make our water mixture to mix into here to make our crust. So we're going to start off with 1 egg, and we're going to put that in a container so we can beat this up a little bit. And then we added in 2 cups of cold water. And then a tablespoon of vinegar. So now to form our dough, we're going to just go ahead and add in a little bit of water, and then I'm going to form my dough balls into just a little bit of like smaller balls, and then set them off to the side. You don't want to overwork pie dough because it'll get tough and it won't be like flaky. Now, just for reference, you will not use near all of your water, so don't dump all of your water into your dough mixture, because you won't use near all of it, as you can tell. Alright, so next you'll need some pie plates. I have glass ones, but the other ones would work, the disposable ones or any others would work as well. I just prefer the glass ones. I think they bake really well. So we're going to get these ready, and I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of the flour on the bottom of these. And now we're going to start rolling out our pie dough, and this is always kind of the tricky part for me anyways. You want your surface floured really well so that your pie dough doesn't stick to your surface, and the top as well so it doesn't stick to your rolling pin. And then you'll just flip the rolled out pie dough
in half once you have it big enough to cover your pie plate, and then you can just slip it over onto your pie plate and then fold it out to the full surface again, and then just fix any cracks, because mine are always some cracks around the edge, so I just kind of fix those up the best I can, and then cut off all of your edges with a butter knife. I just go around the edges and making it all nice and seamless, and then of course crimping this last. Now if you do a double pie crust like an apple pie that you would use like a top crust, you don't want to do the crimping right away, just wait till you get the top layer on. But for pumpkin pies, they're just one layer, so I'm going to go ahead and just get them crimped right away, that way they're ready to go. And this batch does make about 5 pie crusts, I believe, so I'm going to go ahead and just get all of my pie crusts rolled out, put into plates, that way they're ready to bake, or put my filling in whatever kind of pies I want to do.
So now we are starting with our filling, and we're starting with some egg whites. And we're making 3 batches because we have 3 pies. Alright, so we got our egg yolk in here, and now we're going to beat this until it's stiff, and then we're just going to set this aside for now. Next we are adding in our pumpkin, and so each batch calls for 3 tablespoons. And then you'll add in 2 tablespoons of just an all-purpose flour and 2/3 cup of sugar. And then just a dash of salt, a little bit of cinnamon, and some pumpkin spice, as well as clove. And then we're going to mix this all together with our egg yolks that we had set aside from earlier. And then last we'll add in our milk, and you want about 1.5 cups of milk per pie for a 9-inch pie. And then after that is mixed together, we'll just softly mix together our egg whites that we had beaten together with the rest of our mixture for the pumpkin pie. And you want that just mixed, you don't want to beat it up too much. And now we are ready to put our filling into our pie crusts. So I'm just dividing these out with our 3 pie crusts. I personally love this recipe because it is not so heavy on the pumpkin flavor and more on a custardy type of pie. And what I think is so pretty about this pie, when you cut it open after it's cooled, it has those distinct 3 layers, and it's so delicious. So now we're ready for the oven, and these bake at 350 for 40 to 45 minutes. So moving back over here to our pie crust. So we have some extra pie crust left over, and I don't really like to use it again once I've already rolled it out. It's best if you use it the first time you've rolled it out, but it's still good. But we're going to try something else with this, and that is some homemade Pop-Tarts. So we're going to roll this out, see if we can get these made, and I think these should be really good as well.
So once I had it rolled out again on my surface, I'm just going to cut it, make it square so that we have a surface to work with here for our Pop-Tarts. And I'm just guessing on the sizes here, just kind of using the size that I have rolled out here. We're going to make 4 at a time. And then off to the side, I'm going to again roll out some more pie dough about the size of what I have over beside me. And I had some blueberry pie filling. This is just a bought-in pie filling, so super easy to use. And I'm going to just add in about a heaping tablespoon of pie filling per Pop-Tart. And then I'll go ahead and place that other pie dough right on top. And then just cutting off that excess. And once I had that cut off, I'm going to crimp all of the edges all the way around and then in between all the Pop-Tarts. And I thought I should have done an egg wash around the edges just to help it seal. So I thought, well, I'll do that on my next batch and see if it makes a difference. So now our pies are done, and you want them like a little jiggly, but you want them set, if that makes sense. You want them to move just a little bit, but as long as they're set, you can see that they're not really runny in the middle. And then moving back to our Pop-Tarts, I wanted to do a comparison with some bought-in pie dough versus my own homemade pie dough. Just see which one works better, which one tastes better. No surprise, the homemade one tasted a lot better, but the store-bought one was a little easier to work with as far as making them. The bought-in pie dough, of course, would be more expensive because you're buying a pre-made pie crust. So whatever would work for you, whatever's easiest for you. You also have a little more waste with the bought-in pie dough because you can't, they come in like a round shape, so you're not using all of that surface. These were really good as well, but we definitely did prefer the homemade pie crust. And this one I decided to do an egg wash just to see if it made a difference on how they sealed. I didn't see a difference at all in using an egg wash versus not, so I think you could just skip that step. And then before I popped them into the oven, I'm going to just use some of that egg wash for on top, just so they brown really nicely. And then we're going to pop these in the oven. I think I did 20 minutes or so, just till they were nice and browned. At this point, it is time for a coffee drink. I need something to wake me up, and I'm feeling really fancy with these really pretty round ice cubes that our new fridge makes. They're just so fun to use. So we're going to go ahead and get some coffee made, and then we can keep on going. To our cleaning up all of our mess here over on the table. We're just going to get everything cleaned up, and Chloe was over on the other side. She was making some things with that extra pie dough.
TV roll-ups.
She had a lot of fun making some things with the extra pie dough. I think it's fun to see her imagination come to life, creating things and making things. And then of course we're going to just tackle some of the dishes that I had to hand wash. Just going to get those out of the way and get everything cleaned up. So here are our pies all done. They're cooling and ready to enjoy. And then for the tops of our Pop-Tarts, I went ahead and just made a glaze just out of some powdered sugar, a little bit of milk, and just drizzled that on top to finish them off. Now I would definitely eat these just like any pie, eat them within a couple days. They're the best that way, fresh, and they didn't last much longer than that anyways. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.